Hello. Okay, I am live. Hello, everybody. For those of you who are new to our community, because we have like a whole bunch of new people, welcome. My name is Amanda. I am the flute teacher here at Virtual Woodwind Academy, and Woodwind Support Community is our way to connect with you and share some tips that you can use in your practicing. So yeah, I'm just making sure everything is working good and then we can get started. Yeah. All right. Disclaimer, you might hear some traffic noise. That is because I live in Baltimore and Fridays, especially in the afternoon, get very busy. So you might hear some traffic noise. Anyway, so this live today is about vibrato. I get tons and tons of questions about vibrato, and also some of you have been emailing us some questions, and I just wanted to address some of those today with you. So yeah, I think we're just gonna go ahead and jump into this. So one really big question that I've been getting is how and when do you use vibrato in ensembles? So when you're playing in a band or an orchestra, when is it appropriate to use vibrato? This is a very common question I'm getting. And also for myself, I learned this in college when I started playing in a lot of ensembles and I was getting trained to play in ensembles. So I'm going to share some tips about that. When is it appropriate to use vibrato? So here's the time that it's not appropriate. It's not appropriate to use vibrato when you are tuning. So the problem with using vibrato when you're tuning is like the pitch can change just a little bit. If you're playing with big, beautiful vibrato for your tuning note, it doesn't really help the people around you hear the note. So if you're to just play, we can really hear the pitch easily. So when you're tuning, you're not going for like, oh, gorgeous vibrato time. That's not really the time to show that off. It is time to just play a steady pitch. So not appropriate when you're tuning. Another time that I would not use vibrato is when you're playing a high note for a long time. Like let's say the clarinets have some melody like, I don't know, they're playing some melody and you're just playing like over top of them. I wouldn't use vibrato because your part, when you play a long note like that, it's more like an effect, like a drone. If you watch the jazz video that Anna recorded the other day, she literally plays over a drone. And the drone, like, if it has vibrato on it, it's hard to hear the pitch. So it's better to refrain from using vibrato, or at least not too much vibrato, when you're just playing one note. Now, when you're playing a melody, something like that, where it's like beautiful and it's clearly the melody and it's like the whole flute section's playing it, or you're playing just a couple people, or you're by yourself, it's appropriate to use vibrato there. So basically just don't use it when you're an accompanying note. Okay, so that is that. And there are some other questions I got about vibrato, and I'm just going to kind of go through those because these are super common questions. So first one is how to learn vibrato if you haven't already. Another one is vibrato, how do you do that in soft playing versus loud playing? How do you change up the vibrato depending on the dynamic level you're playing? Yeah, good vibrato. How to make your vibrato sound better. How and when to add vibrato in like a musical setting. So like, outside of ensembles and you're just playing a solo, like what notes do you put vibrato on or not or whatever. So those are really common concerns and questions that people have. And I'm going to be honest with you, it takes a long time to go in depth about all of those. So that's why literally I am doing a flute vibrato class. So this is just for flute players at Virtual Woodwind Academy in month 1. So you can learn just when to use vibrato, on what notes in your solo, how to vary up the speeds in your vibrato, exercises that you can do to develop your vibrato, whether if you've never done vibrato before, exercises for that, or exercises for if you want to just develop it and make it sound better. And then basically, yeah. Oh yeah, the other thing was playing soft and loud. That's another thing. Another thing for flute is the vibrato is different on high registers versus low registers. So that's another thing that we would go into in the vibrato class. There's that traffic noise. Sorry. People like to drive dirt bikes in Baltimore. So anyway, that is, if you're here and you have any of those sort of questions about vibrato, if you want to like make your vibrato sound better, if you want to learn what notes to use it on versus not use it on, if you've never done vibrato before and you really want to develop it, then really the best thing to do is to come to Virtual Woodwind Academy, because we're going to go through it in month 1. And not only are we going to go through it, we're giving you one-on-one support after the masterclass so you can ask us follow-up questions. And we're giving you a library of vibrato exercises that you can literally print out and keep. There's more traffic noise for you. Anyway, so if you're looking for more help on vibrato, that's hands down the best thing to do and the most affordable option, because that's what we're all about. We'd rather just teach you that in a class and give you the support after than having you have to like go to like 8 private lessons and like talk about vibrato and then leave and then not get the support there and look on YouTube and then be confused because some people are doing really weird vibrato. Yeah, we're all about just having it be concise, understandable, easy to access, and easy to understand. Because there's no point in fluffing it up and being like, oh, all vibrato should be like really intense. Oh, vibrato is like the sprinkles on top of your sound. They make things sound beautiful. And, you know, flute is a gorgeous vibrato instrument. So, actually, I'm going to play a piece for you guys. This is a piece, it's Ave Maria. One of my adult students, Tom, is learning this. And I'm just going to give him a quick shout out because he's not on Facebook. But he basically has been working on this, and we've been working on how to change up his vibrato so that it's not always the same speed. And that's a way that you can make music sound, you know, more musical, have your own voice to it, and just really give it a beautiful touch. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. Hopefully the traffic isn't too loud. And yeah, if you notice the vibrato speed changing, like sometimes it'll be slower, sometimes it'll be faster, write in the comments. I'm curious to know if you guys hear that, because you can totally do that in your own music. Anyway, here we go. Here is Ave Maria. So if you noticed in there, some notes had faster vibrato, like this one. Some notes had slower vibrato. And some notes had none. But I kind of did it in a way to help shape the music I wanted to play. Because, you don't want sprinkles on like every single part of your cake. I mean, maybe you do. There's nothing wrong with that. But I wanted to put them in certain spots that were like, ooh, cool looking. So that's what I did with the vibrato. There you go. So write any questions you have in the chat or in the comments. You can always email us. But, if you're wanting to learn more about the different speeds of vibrato and like exercises for that, actually my method for teaching people vibrato, if they've never done it before, involves practicing vibrato at different speeds. And we have all of that stuff in our virtual Woodwind Academy library for you. So anyway, that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and all of my traffic noise outside. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.